You wake up, tired. You sit down for lunch, still tired. You go to bed early, and yet the next morning feels just as draining. If you're over 60 and constantly asking yourself, why am I always so tired? You're not alone. Fatigue is one of the most common complaints among older adults, but here's what most people don't realize. It's often not your age that's to blame. It's your routine. That's right. The very habits you repeat every day, the ones that feel normal, may be the very things robbing you of your energy without you even noticing. And no, it's not always because of a serious illness. In fact, many of these energy-draining mistakes are completely reversible, once you know what to look for. Imagine feeling more awake during the day, walking with more energy, doing your hobbies again without dragging your feet, not needing that third cup of coffee just to stay alert. It's possible, but it starts by identifying what's stealing your energy, so you can take it back. In this video, we're going to uncover the most common daily mistakes that make seniors over 60 feel exhausted, and how small changes can bring back your strength, focus, and vitality. Because if you're over 60 and tired all the time, it's not just aging, it's a message from your body. Fatigue after 60 isn't just frustrating, it's confusing. You try to rest more, but you still feel drained. You stop exercising to save energy, but somehow feel even more sluggish. You eat less because your appetite has changed, but that doesn't seem to help either. And so, slowly, day by day, you start accepting that being tired is just part of getting older. But here's what science and real-life experience is proving. Chronic fatigue in seniors is not inevitable. In fact, it's often the result of small but powerful habits that gradually wear you down. The worst part, most people don't even realize they're doing it. Things like skipping meals or eating the wrong foods for sustained energy, staying indoors too much, reducing sunlight exposure and vitamin D, poor hydration throughout the day, lack of physical movement, which decreases oxygen flow, irregular sleep routines, or over-relying on naps, and yes, even negative self-talk that drains your emotional energy. The good news? These are changeable. And once you spot these patterns in your own life, you can begin to rebuild your energy from the inside out, gently, naturally, and without relying on stimulants or medications. Today's video isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. You'll hear stories of seniors who turned their fatigue around with surprisingly simple steps, and we'll guide you through each of them so you can do the same. Because being over 60 doesn't mean giving up your energy. It means learning how to protect it better. So if you're ready to stop just pushing through the exhaustion and finally understand what your body's trying to tell you, let's dive in. And today, we're going to help you listen and act. Fatigue after 60 isn't just frustrating, it's confusing. You try to rest more, but you still feel drained. You stop exercising to save energy, but somehow feel even more sluggish. You eat less because your appetite has changed, but that doesn't seem to help either. And so slowly, day by day, you start accepting that being tired is just part of getting older. But here's what science and real-life experience is proving. Chronic fatigue in seniors is not inevitable. In fact, it's often the result of small but powerful habits that gradually wear you down. The worst part? Most people don't even realize they're doing it. Things like skipping meals or eating the wrong foods for sustained energy, staying indoors too much, reducing sunlight exposure and vitamin D, poor hydration throughout the day, lack of physical movement, which decreases oxygen flow, irregular sleep routines, or over-relying on naps, and yes, even negative self-talk that drains your emotional energy. The good news? These are changeable. And once you spot these patterns in your own life, you can begin to rebuild your energy from the inside out, gently, naturally, and without relying on stimulants or medications. Today's video isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. You'll hear stories of seniors who turned their fatigue around with surprisingly simple steps, and we'll guide you through each of them so you can do the same. Because being over 60 doesn't mean giving up your energy, it means learning how to protect it better. So if you're ready to stop just pushing through the exhaustion and finally understand what your body's trying to tell you, let's dive in. You don't notice it at first. A few years after turning 60, your mornings start to feel heavier. You need more time to get going. Tasks you used to breeze through now feel like climbing uphill. It's not pain, it's not illness, just a quiet, persistent fatigue that lingers no matter how much you sleep or how little you do. So you start adjusting. You move a bit less, take more breaks, cut out social events that feel tiring, maybe skip breakfast, maybe nap more. After all, you tell yourself, I'm getting older. This is normal. But here's the hidden truth that few people talk about. What feels normal might actually be draining you further. That's exactly what happened to Clara. At 72, she assumed her exhaustion was simply age catching up. She was sleeping 8 hours a night, but still waking up groggy. She no longer had energy to garden or go on walks with her neighbor, and even reading made her eyelids heavy. Her doctor found no major medical issues. Blood pressure, normal. Heart, strong. Labs, fine. So what was wrong? As it turns out, it wasn't what Clara had, it was what she was doing. Or rather, what she wasn't doing. Let's start with breakfast. Clara often skipped it. She said she wasn't hungry in the morning, just had a little coffee and maybe toast later on. But without knowing, she was depriving her body of the nutrients it needed to turn on for the day. After 60, your metabolism changes. Your body burns energy less efficiently and stores fewer reserves overnight. Skipping breakfast meant her blood sugar crashed by mid-morning and her brain ran on empty. When Clara started including a small protein-rich meal in the morning, even something as simple as a boiled egg and a slice of avocado toast, she noticed the fog lifting. Her energy, surprisingly, lasted longer into the afternoon. That's the first shift. What you eat, and when, is one of the biggest energy drivers after 60. But the story doesn't end at food. Let's talk about movement. Like many, Clara believed that slowing down was the best way to conserve energy. She thought that sitting more would help her feel less tired. But the opposite happened. When she started walking less, her muscles began to weaken. Her blood circulation slowed. Oxygen wasn't flowing as efficiently to her brain. Her joints became stiffer. And even though she was technically resting more, she felt more exhausted than ever. It took just 10 minutes of daily movement, light stretching in the morning, a walk after lunch, to start changing that. As her muscles reactivated, so did her energy. It wasn't about burning calories. It was about reminding her body how to function efficiently. Another common mistake Clara didn't realize she was making: dehydration. As we age, our sense of thirst weakens. Many seniors drink far less water than they need, simply because they don't feel thirsty. Clara was drinking 2 small glasses a day, often forgetting to hydrate during long stretches of time. The result? Her fatigue worsened. Her skin dried. Her digestion slowed, and, like many others, she started mistaking thirst for hunger, which affected her eating habits as well. Once she made hydration a habit, keeping a water bottle visible, drinking a full glass with every meal, flavoring her water with lemon or cucumber to make it more appealing. Her afternoons became lighter. Her headaches faded. Her concentration improved. It wasn't magic. It was water. Then came light, or rather, the lack of it. Clara had been spending most of her time indoors. Curtains drawn, TV on. The absence of natural light disrupted her body's internal clock. Her vitamin D levels dipped. Her sleep cycle became erratic. When she committed to spending at least 20 minutes outdoors every day, even just sitting on the porch, her mood lifted. She began sleeping more deeply. Morning sunlight rebalanced her circadian rhythm and helped her feel naturally more awake during the day. And that brings us to one of the most overlooked drains of all: mental exhaustion caused by emotional habits. Clara had fallen into a subtle loop of negative self-talk. I'm not as useful anymore. I can't keep up like I used to. Maybe I'm just lazy now. These thoughts didn't scream. They whispered. But they whispered every day, and those thoughts were heavy. What we tell ourselves becomes the filter through which we experience everything else. For Clara, that negativity shaped her motivation, her choices, and even her physical sensations. She felt tired, not just because of her body, but because of the story she was living inside her mind. It was only when she began practicing simple gratitude, writing down 3 things each morning that she was thankful for, that her outlook started to shift. Her inner voice softened, and when her mind felt lighter, her body followed. Her story is not unique. Thousands of seniors feel chronically tired and they search for complicated solutions, when in reality their bodies are crying out for simpler things: balanced meals with real nutrients, gentle, daily movement to keep systems active, regular hydration, exposure to natural light, consistent, refreshing sleep, a supportive inner dialogue. Let's not forget George, 75, who believed napping all afternoon would help his fatigue. In truth, those long, irregular naps were disrupting his sleep cycle at night, leading to lighter, broken sleep and more daytime drowsiness. When he limited naps to 20 minutes and set a bedtime routine, he began waking up feeling actually rested. Or Lena, 70, who was unknowingly overdoing caffeine to push through her slumps, 4 cups a day. That created spikes of alertness, followed by deep crashes. By switching to herbal tea in the afternoon and adjusting her meals to include more slow-burning energy from whole grains and healthy fats, she finally stabilized. Then there was Tom, 78. Widowed and living alone, his tiredness stemmed less from physical issues and more from emotional isolation. He said, "It feels like my days have no color anymore." After joining a local men's group that met once a week, that color came back. Connection, laughter, purpose, those too are nutrients. In every case, the fatigue wasn't the enemy. It was the signal, a message from the body saying, "Help me rebalance, help me feel again." And the response didn't have to be extreme, just consistent, just intentional, just real. What we often see as just age is sometimes just a collection of daily habits that no longer serve who we've become. And the beautiful truth is, habits can change, no matter how old you are. You are not weak, you are not lazy, you are not broken. You might just be doing a few things that your body has outgrown, and once you recognize them and begin to shift, even slowly, the results can be extraordinary. Energy returns, joy returns, you return. So if you've been tired, day after day, feeling like your spark is fading, take a breath. Look at your routines with fresh eyes. Because often, what's making you feel tired after 60 isn't age at all. It's just a few daily mistakes, waiting to be gently replaced by new, life-giving choices. And your body? It's ready. If you've made it this far, then I want to thank you, truly, because choosing to understand your body instead of blaming it is one of the most powerful things you can do after 60. Now I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with the words, "I'm ready to feel alive again." That simple phrase tells me you're not giving in to tiredness, you're choosing to rise above it. And while you're at it, share with us. Which of these daily habits do you recognize in your own life? Which one are you ready to change starting today? Your story might inspire someone else. And sometimes, seeing that we're not alone is exactly the energy boost we need. Also, don't forget to like this video if it helped you. It shows YouTube this content matters. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos filled with tips for strength, energy, and healthy aging. And share this with someone you love, especially if they've been feeling tired and don't know why. This might be the message they need right now. We're building a growing community of seniors who are done accepting fatigue as their new normal. People who want to feel clear, capable, and strong again, in body and in spirit. People like you. So go ahead, comment, "I'm ready to feel alive again," and take the first small step. Because tired may be how you felt, but it doesn't have to be who you are. If there's one thing I hope you take away from today's video, it's this. Your tiredness is not the end of your story. It's a signal, a whisper from your body asking for change. Not punishment, not shame, just care. And the best part? You don't need to start over. You just need to start gently. You've already lived through so much. You've shown strength in ways that no one may have seen. And you still have more to give. To others, yes, but especially to yourself. Energy doesn't just come from youth. It comes from alignment, from giving your body what it actually needs, and letting go of habits that no longer serve you. Sometimes it's one more glass of water. Sometimes it's a 10-minute walk in the sunlight. Sometimes it's choosing a real meal instead of skipping. And sometimes it's simply changing the words you speak to yourself. Because the most important relationship you'll ever have, especially now, is with your own energy. Not just how much you have, but how much you honor. So if you've been feeling tired lately, don't see it as a flaw. See it as an invitation to slow down, but not stop, to rest,